Double Hybrid. Written and voiced by Ashley Siegel. Chapter 5, Part 1. The next day came at the Leandre household. It was a chilly Saturday outside, but more chills were inside the mansion. Charles got up and went downstairs with a crackling headache he had. It felt like his head was about to explode.
"Morning, honey,"
he says in that frightening deep voice of his, entering the kitchen, frying bacon, but doesn't get a response from his wife. "Lyle, breakfast is ready!" Cassandra shouts out to her son, who instantly came running down in his training sneakers, track pants, a vest, and his headphones on. "I'm going out for a jog, so I'm not eating." "But honey, it's
Mom, please."
"I'm out. See you, Dad," he says, closing the door, putting his headphones blasting out some loud music. Meanwhile, tension was brewing back in the house. "You've been feeding him bad information about me, so much so he hates me, huh?" Cassandra says, washing the dishes after cooking breakfast.
"Oh no, you did that on your own."
Charles replies, getting off his chair, making his way to his home office. "You knew the truth. I was sent away and you tell him I just up and left?"
You could have refused, woken up that stubborn side of yours and stayed, but no, you left.
I can't believe this. You held a knife to my neck the night before. The plane ticket was bought. My clothes were packed.
Pity, I don't remember any of that nonsense you're telling
Of
me.
course you don't, because you were drunk, and after that you went flat in your sleep. Know what? That's why I want a divorce from you, and that is never happening. You can't tell me that.
I can.
As Charles says that, he moves towards his wife and kisses her passionately, and as he stops to look into her eyes, they start to glow along with his.
You are not leaving or this house unless I say so. Now go to the bedroom and sleep, as you are never going to remember this conversation.
"Yes, my love," she replies in a hypnotized tone, and she makes her way to the bedroom to do as she was told. "Your work is done, master," Charles says to himself.
Good. Now go to your office and check if the facility is complete.
After that was said, Charles moves in a hypnotized motion to his office to do as he was told as well. Meanwhile, Lyle is having his jog around Titan's block and sees him walk to the direction of the school. So he decides to follow him to find out what is the young boy going to do at school because it was a Saturday. "Let's see what this freak is up to," he says to himself as he sets to spy on Titan. Titan gets to the school basketball court and finds Tyler sitting on the bleachers listening to music. "What's Ty doing here?" "Hey, Tyler!" he yells and waves, catching his attention. He replies back and signals him to sit next to him. "What brings you to school on a Saturday, Ty?" "I could ask you the same cue. I had to get out the house. Grandma's friends are coming over, so I had to escape." "Running from the old ladies. That's proper." They both shared a brief laugh. "And you haven't answered my question." "Oh, nah, I just needed some fresh air. Plus, the school is the best peaceful place to be at," Tyler replied with a faint smile. "I get you. So, what now?" Titan asked as Tyler took out his phone and started playing some hip-hop music. "Now, I introduce myself," Tyler said, getting up and began dancing, and as he did, roots and vines began to move along with his rhythm. You know my name, but not me in general," Tyler replied, still moving to the sound of music. "But let me finish. I know too much about you. You know nothing about me." "Well, as you know, I'm Tyler. I'm the goofy one in the four of us, and I wield the power of Earth." "I kinda got that a long time ago when I met you guys," Titan said, looking at the beauty of nature moving along. He chuckled at the sight. "But you didn't know that I'm a dancer/rapper and I'm a vegetarian. Hence your Earth powers. Question. The day we were attacked by those scientists, you were very protective of Drea. Why? Well, I take Drea as my baby sister most of the time, and I love her that way, and she balances my powers. He stops and takes a seat next to Titan, switching the music on his phone off. How? You're Earth, she's air. Well, I'm Earth, yeah, but for now, I can only move rocks, and her wind can blow my rocks and break them into sand, he says, lifting up a small nearby rock with his mind. So I can crush rocks into sand too, but I need her wind to blow the sand towards the enemy, he continues as he crushes it into sand. And without her wind, the sand falls to the floor. As he lets the sand fall. Wow, that's deep. But that's not all. We all need each other. Our powers complement each other. And with all of them combined, we're unstoppable. That's awesome. But with you in the picture, we're even more powerful to withstand whatever comes at us. Which raises a question I want to ask you. Me? Why? Why are you always wearing hoodies? Your hair looks cool. I want to do mine like that. Well, mine is naturally this color, and I wear hoodies because it's part of my personality. I mean, nobody understands me and I don't want them to. Hence, I'd rather be alone. Plus, I don't trust easily. But you trust us, right? I don't know. What do you mean? I don't know if I can. Y'all are cool and all, and we're the same, but what if all changes in the future? I don't want to be left alone and hurt at the same time. Hey, Tyler says, standing in front of Titan with his hands on the young boy's shoulders. Look into my eyes. Titan does so. We won't hurt you in any way or anyhow. We love you, Titan, and we won't let anything bad happen to you, okay? So put that smile on your face. Hold your head up. I'm not saying change your personality, but at least don't look down on yourself. To us, you're our little brother. We got your back, Titan. Thanks. Jeez, I'm hungry. Let's go to the castle. Cleo must have cooked something by now. Cool. Wait, how did you get your powers? That, Titan, is a story for another day. Okay, let's go eat. Meanwhile, Lyle was listening to the whole conversation, hidden underneath the bleachers. I have to tell Dad about this, he says to himself as he tiptoed away, making sure he makes no sound as he does before speeding away to inform his father of his discovery. Lyle comes running into the house, leaving the door wide open, calling out to his father all over the house. Dad! Dad! He continued to call, going from the study to up the stairs, but luckily, Charles emerges from the basement.
What is it?
He asked in shock at his son's hyperactivity. I have something to tell you. Titan is the creature we've been looking for, but small problem. Lyle began to tell.
Well, what is it?
Charles asked in anticipation. He's guarded by his new friends.
Damn it.
He says, punching the wall, furious at what he's being told.
The facility should be finished by now. They said in the last 15 minutes only a few adjustments will be made. Then it's complete. Go wake your mother up.
He continued to add. Okay, well, what's the plan, Dad?
Wait and see, son. Wait and see.
After a while, Titan and the group are watching a movie and suddenly, Titan gets a text message. He checks it out and sighs in disappointment. Hey guys, Grandma just texted me. She says we're all invited to dinner by my Aunt Cassandra's, he said, rolling his eyes in annoyance. What do you mean we? Cleo asked in confusion. She says all of us, Cleo, Drea replied as she stuffed a mouthful of popcorn in her mouth. I feel bad about this, Drea added soon as she swallowed, worried. Same here, but let's go anyways and find out about this dinner, says Miles, getting up from the couch. I'll wait for you at my house, yeah? Yeah, we'll see you there. After that was said, Titan speeds out the house to his home. Okay, gang, I'm guessing we have to put our suspicion hats on, exclaimed Tyler. I guess so, replies Leo. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get ready, says Treya, making her way up the stairs, and the other two follow her. A few hours pass, and already the gang is waiting for Cassandra to arrive and take them to her house, and she arrives. They all manage to fit in the SUV and drive off. As soon as they arrive, they enter the house and are welcomed by Charles and Lyle and a smell of divine cuisine.
Welcome to our humble home, Claudette.
It's Aunt Claudette to you, mister. And thank you for inviting us to dinner.
The pleasure's all mine, Auntie. Have you met our son, Lyle?
Oh, hi there, Lyle. Nice to finally meet you. Same here, ma'am. Sup, Titan. Gang. Everyone replies and makes their way to the dining room and take their seats. During dinner, Claudette and Charles have a very interesting chat with each other, but strangely, Cassandra and Lyle were silent the whole time, which made the teens worry a bit, but suddenly, Titan felt drained of his energy, but he tries to hide it. May I ask where the bathroom is? He asks, trying his hardest not to show what's wrong. Oh, it's down the hall, second door to your left, answers Cassandra, still in a trance. Thanks. Titan stutters and makes his way to the direction he was given. Along the path, he passes the basement door, which caused him a strong headache that he nearly collapses, but he manages to hang on to the wall until he made it to the bathroom. He locks the door and closes the toilet seat and sits on it. His head was spinning. His body was suddenly in excruciating pain. His vision was blurry, so he tries to stand up and look into the mirror. What he saw scared him even more. His eyes were black with red pupils. His fangs were out. His ears were pointy, similar to a wolf, and his skin got paler. His hands turned to claws with fur on them, and his back was hurting even more. And then he sees the face of a woman in the mirror. The woman he saw in the mirror. You can't be here. You and your family should leave. What? Is what he managed to whisper as he was in pain. Go. You haven't much time. Who are you? She gets cut off by a knock on the bathroom door. Titan, you alright in there? We have to go. But when he looks into the mirror again, the woman had vanished, and he was back to normal but a little weak. He gets out the bathroom. He sees Miles waiting. It happened again. I know. I smell it. We have to go though. You missed dessert. Forget that. We have to go now. Okay. They all make their way to the door as they were leaving, and Cassandra was waiting in the car to take everyone home.
Come again next time,
roars Charles. Oh, we will, child. Thanks for dinner, Claudette says, getting into the car, waving goodbye to Charles and Lyle. Titan, what was wrong in the bathroom? I'll tell you later, he managed to reply after he sees Cassandra's eyes were in a different color again. After seeing his wife drive off and disappear into the distance, he walks back into the house with his son.
Go to bed. I have to go to the man cave.
Yes, Dad, Lyle replies as he walks up to his room. Charles goes down the basement again and reaches the dark figure with glowing red eyes only visible.
I see the boy and his guardians were here.
Yes, Master. Everything is going as planned, Charles says, bowing his head.
Good. Keep up the act. The closer we get to them, the easier it will be to get my plan in motion. Is the facility ready?
All is set.
Excellent. Now go. Your wife will be home any moment. Keep up the act, and you will be rewarded greatly.
Indeed, Master. And the figure disappears, and Charles walks out the basement and up to his room. Cassandra gets home, switches everything off, and goes up to her room and finds her husband waiting for her. I'm back, my love. Shall we perform our own ritual?
We may.
And the door is closed with his mind. He pulls his wife close and kisses her passionately, removing their clothes, dropping onto the bed, and cover themselves in blankets. Meanwhile, Titan can't get the woman he saw in the mirror twice and asked himself, who is she? Why is she helping them? Why and how does she know him? Those questions rang in Titan's head until he drifted away in his sleep. Part 2. It's a cold night. Air is crisp. The moon is at its fullest but cloudy, and the air is filled with ardrelite. Fast thumps and cracking twigs on the ground. Heavy breathing. Heavy machinery sounds break the silence of the night with growling and roaring engines with bright headlights shining in front of the giant motor machines. Titan is speeding through the forest, not his usual vampire speed, but a human-like pace, as if he had no powers. His breathing was heavy as he was tired, sweat dripping down his forehead, and as he runs, he keeps looking behind him, only seeing bright lights shine behind him from a distance. He keeps running, jumping over logs, splashing on tiny mud puddles, moving the naked branches, blocking his way. His energy is low, but lucky enough, he finds a huge enough oak tree to hide himself, so long as he catches his breath. You can't hide forever, Quadrillium! You are ours to keep! The Titan winces in fear. He's alone. He can't use his powers to his advantage. He wipes every tear that escapes his Bambi big bluish-green eyes, running down his caramel-pale cheeks. But to his dismay, the bright light shines behind the tree he was hiding behind, surrounding both sides, but he has no choice but to keep running. But this time, it's foggy, not your normal fog, but ardrelite fog, causing him to stumble in his pace and coughing hard as the gas was choking him. He clings on to every branch he can, but the vehicle is gaining up on him. He tries his hardest to pick up the pace, and he does eventually. Coughing as he does, he ends up stopping, almost falling off a cliff, letting a few rocks tumble down. He turns to see the light shining directly at him, causing him to cover his eyes. You have nowhere to go, boy! Surrender now or die down that cliff! Leave me alone! What do you want from me? Screams out Titan in fear of not knowing where else to go. You'll find out soon enough! After that deep, scary voice shouts that out, a can rolls on the leafy ground, stopping the Titan's feet, releasing a huge amount of gas, causing him to cough harder and wheezing for air. What do you... Before he could finish his question, stepping back, he misses his step, causing him to fall backwards, screaming his lungs out. Ah! Immediately, Titan wakes up in a cold sweat, his heart racing, his breathing heavy. It was only just a dream, he says to himself, calming down slowly. But as he does that, he sees a tiny floating light and hears the same voice that haunts his dreams. Follow me. What? Who are you? What are you? Follow me, child. With that said, he gets out his bed in his boxer shorts and baggy t-shirt and follows the tiny floating thing, and it leads him out his bedroom. The tiny light floats on in the hallway as Titan follows it, then it suddenly floats up and through the ceiling. Titan, on the other hand, is confused on what to do, but suddenly the trap door opens, releasing a built-in ladder. He climbs up the ladder, leading to the attic. He sees the light floating over a book, a giant book with many pages. Out of curiosity, he picks it up and blows the dust off of it, and he looks at the floating light. What is this? But the floating light stayed floating in silence. I'll take that as a yes, he says to himself as he opens it. He sees it's blank. It's blank. The tiny floating light floats slowly toward the open book. It floats directly in the center, slowly descending onto the page. It dissolves into the book, and the pages of the book light up and turn rapidly, causing it to ascend. And finally, it closes with a loud thud and slowly descends to his hands. And on the cover, it read, "The Book of Elzor in gold." It looked almost brand new, but when he tried to open it, it doesn't budge. And then an invisible force blows him and the book out of the attic, causing him to roll down the ladder. And it blows him down the hall and into his room, slamming the door shut. Then he wakes up, opening his eyes wide and scared. He gets up to find the book from his dreams in his hands on his lap. "I have to show the others this book," he whispers to himself in confusion and drops back to his pillow and falls back to sleep. The next day, Titan couldn't wait to get up and get ready to show his friends the book that magically appeared on his lap last night. He speeds into his bathroom, does his hygiene, he gets dressed, grabs his phone and the book, and sped downstairs to find his Gran watching TV, eating popcorn. "Gran, I'll be out for the rest of the day," he said in a rush, just a few inches to the door. "But it's our lazy Sunday," Claudette replied, standing up from the couch in a pink and fluffy gown. "Sorry, Gran, not this Sunday," he apologized with a smile on his face. His grandmother hadn't seen that smile in a while, or heard him sound so cheerful. She smiled as well. "Okay, don't be home too late though," she warns. "I won't," he yells after closing the door. He puts on his hood, hides the book under his jacket, and super speeds into the forest. He instantly stops at the driveway and walks up to the door and knocks. Cleo opens the door. "Hey, little guy," she greets with a smile, and revealing the giant book, her smile turns into a frown. "Get in." As she demands that, she looks out for any unwanted company and closes the door, locking it. She walks behind Titan to the living room in silence, and as they enter the living room, she quickly moves the table. "Hey!" complains an agitated Tyler. "Hey guys, the book! It's right here," says Cleo, and immediately everyone else walks into the living room after hearing Cleo speak about the book. Everyone sits on the floor in a circle. "Just like we practiced, guys," says Drea, and immediately everyone holds hands. "What's going on?" But Titan is hushed by Drea, and the four say an incantation, and all of a sudden, fire appears above their heads, water making a ring surrounding them, stones floating in circles around them, and air lifting all five of them, floating up in the air, and suddenly everyone's eyes started to glow, including Titan's. After a few minutes, they all descend to the ground slowly, and all four elements turned into tiny lights that floated into the book, and then it finally opened. Titan opens his eyes to see everyone else dizzy. "What just happened?" he asked, holding his head. "We opened the book," answered Miles. "The Book of Elzor. It holds our history, our heritage, and everything magical we need. It'll help us in the near future. And we know about last night at dinner and in your dreams," added Cleo. "About the house full of Ardrelite, the evil presence and the dreams that were premonitions. Well, one premonition. And the book choosing you. We saw it all, and Ardrelite affects us too," said Tyler. "How did you know all that stuff? And how does Ardrelite affect you?" "Well, Ardrelite affects supernatural beings that are either one child, singular, twins, triplets, quadruplets, etc., Miles says, slowing down. "Wait, you mean to say y'all are quadruplets?" "Yes. We wanted to tell you, but we needed the right time," says Cleo. "How old are y'all?" "We're 17. I know this is a shock, but it was a shock to us too 5 years ago." But before they knew it, Titan Titan was out the door, storming off with the book. "Please, hear us out," shouts Tyler as he tries to follow Titan. "I was a fool. You guys are blood related and y'all didn't tell me? What's next? This house isn't yours? Just listen." Before Tyler could finish, Cleo stopped him by talking. "Look at his eyes," she says, and everyone looks to see them pitch black with the red pupil.
"I shouldn't have trusted you guys."
Titan speaks in his demon voice.
"He's possessed, and I think I know by who,"
says Miles in a short tone.
"Everyone, say the spell."
He reveals a tattoo with the words Craveliariotas.
"Say it 3 times in unison,"
he says, and they all cast it at the same time, making Titan collapse. "He's stabilized. Let's get him inside. We have some research and preparations for the near future," Miles says as Tyler picks him up and they enter the house while he looks behind him into the forest and looks at the sky as the clouds get darker. "This will be hectic," he says to himself as he closes the door. Meanwhile, at the facility, Charles looks up at a shrine-like chamber with 5 glass chambers next to it.
"Master, the time has come."
With that said, the voice in his head,
"Excellent. Execute the plan."
And with that, his eyes glow red, and he releases an evil laugh that echoes even outside the facility. To be continued.